All right.
Right.
I think
Is it time for the main event?
It's time. Has everyone got their popcorn ready?
Yeah, popcorn.
Now, this is, like I said, this is 30 minutes and we could watch every single bit. Look, this is 30 seconds in, as you can see. This is the whole event. We'll play this first bit for a couple of minutes. And this first bit, I'll give you some highlights as we come up. One of the highlights from this is Donald Trump claiming to be the best president there's ever been for black people. So I actually don't think he knows. I think there's a few answers in. I don't know if I'm going to show them or not, where it actually shows he's not aware of where he is or who he's speaking to. He talks about migrants coming over and taking your jobs. Migrants aren't coming over and taking journalists' jobs. Like, I wonder if he knows where he is. Let's have a bit of a listen.
By addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of
paint, red spray paint.
Oh, good God. I apologize. It's done this thing. All right, here we go.
So the question, I have been the best president for the black.
Oh, hang on, sorry. We're not even there. I was back. See, I was so far back. I'll just go to here and push play.
Yeah. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. Correct. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
First question, 1 minute and 20 seconds into the interview. And you know Donald Trump, he's going to be balanced and well-meaning and articulate with how he spins his
He'll take this very well.
Yeah, and he'll take the high road.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say hello.
An audience.
Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
the audience is just laughter. It's not laughter with, it's laughter at, with the odd 1 or 2 supporter in the background.
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and you know, and I say this, historically, black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom.
So if he's in such a bad way, he could literally step up and walk off. He could have said when he turned up, these aren't the conditions I agreed to, and not gone up. But he's gone up and he's just bitching and moaning. This has got about another 35 seconds for the first clip. We're about to get to the I'm the best. I've been the best president for black people.
Well,
he puts another syllable in the word black. He goes black.
Oh yeah,
it's 2
super
syllables.
Obvious. As soon as I started noticing it, I was just like, "Why are you saying it weird?" It's because he's weird.
Yeah.
You know, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here.
We can pause it there, Jerry. There's step one. You're looking at the best president for the black community since Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves. Any thoughts? So we've got a few more to go, bro, but you're welcome to jump in.
He showed you the game plan there, right? He said, I've been very kind to give you an hour. You've already eaten up 30 minutes of it. And I am going to sandbag the shit out of you for the rest of the 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He is going to ramble. He is going to go fake news media, rah, 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 all the hits. He doesn't realize he's not at a rally. And I think Free Soul here in the chat has nailed it. His three worst nightmares: black people, women, and journalists.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect combo.
Yeah, all right, we're going to keep on trucking, and I'm just, because I apologize about that little gap. I don't know why it does that. I have to reboot it every single time. It's bizarre how it just jumps like that. Let's have a look at question number 2. And question number 2 is, let me just explain it this way. You know, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI people. Really interesting listening to some commentators saying, and let me get through this before you call in racism, is Kamala Harris, so even I'm getting that mixed up now, Kamala Harris, a DEI candidate? And the answer is pretty much all VPs are DEI candidates. The reason Biden was the VP was because Barack was the presidential and he needed a particular group of people to come. The difference is they never have called Biden DEI, but they will call Kamala Harris DEI. So they only ever, so that's coded language. You all know this for a black person, because whoever Kamala Harris will now get as her running mate will be a DEI, but it'll be a white male because she is a black female to attract a particular audience. It's probably going to be the governor of Philadelphia. What is that, Massachusetts? No, I forget. Because he will bring in that state. So they'll get someone there for a particular reason why they're doing it, but they never ask that about the white guys, even though it's basically the same. It's for a particular reason to attract a particular audience to it. So this is asking him about her accusations of her being DEI.
Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define the.
There's another classic
I just
tactic,
defined
right?
it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So,
I'm just sorry. This is the worst. This is not coded racism. This is the worst thing you'll probably, Donald Trump, I was going to say you'll probably hear this cycle, maybe not. But this is the worst of the worst. This is white supremacy in a potential president.
She is a black woman.
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So, I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there.
And then he goes on to giving credit to Harris Faulkner, the Fox News female black journalist, but he likes her because she's with Fox News. Chewy, sir, absolutely. I mean, it's just blatant racism. Like you can't. There's no dog whistle there. That's the foghorn.
Mm. Oh, absolutely. Like I was going to talk about coded language and dog whistles. Look, if the way that a lot of these guys use DEI as almost a substitute for the N word,
Yeah.
they'll throw that around. It is not a dog whistle to his supporters. It is that they fucking know what that means. Like, absolutely. And for him to go, what's your definition? What's your definition? Define it for me. Define it for me. Like, everybody in that room knew what it meant. You know what it means.
Yeah.
You going, define it for me, is you sandbagging because you don't have any prepared thoughts that would play outside of your own echo chamber at your own rallies when everybody goes, yeah, we know what you mean, boss.
Yeah.
Like, and I love this. Is she Indian? Is she black? She needs to pick one. It's like,
and saying she's ashamed of something, you know. I respect them. She doesn't. She doesn't respect the Indian culture or the black culture. It's like, hello. It's like when he says that she's got a problem with Jewish people and her husband's Jewish. It's like, good grief.
I just think that's rich coming from Trump. I don't see him in a hurry to change his name back to what it was.
No, Drumpf, whatever it was.
Drumpf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Mike makes the correct observation, I think, playing to his base. But the problem is he's not in a place where his base is. And his base may not see this because it's on other networks. It's not a Fox News or news, whatever it's called, the far right groups. It's not on those places. But there is more of this. So let's keep playing, because there are sometimes he keeps going back to Harris Faulkner and he keeps talking about the nasty woman on stage, and every time he wants to talk to someone specifically, he just mentions Faulkner's name, who's sitting in the far side. This is a bit here, and hopefully our little video won't jump around because I've tried to re-queue it up, where he's talking about undocumented migrants will come in and take black jobs. Again, what is a black job?
I want to talk about why you're here today.
So that's Harris Faulkner from Fox.
Lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we are divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are, why come here? What is your message today?
My message is to...
And just so you know, as Chewy said, he doesn't have a message. He spent literally 0 seconds sitting and going, what do I want to get out of today? He's put his Diet Coke down and his piece of pizza down, and he's walked onto the stage, literally not having given this an inch of thought. So what is his message for today? Well, we'll find out, because this is the first time he's thought about it.
Here, what is your message today?
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming...
He's at the Black Journalists Convention.
Has he worked that out, has he?
He's at the Black Journalists Convention. So the convention for black journalists. And he says...
A lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best...
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a
Good
job.
save.
And
Good save.
They're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this.
It's like you can see the synapses not quite firing properly and just going ping, pong, ping, 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 pong, 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 ping border, ping immigration, ping migration, ping she's a czar. Okay, we'll go with that. It's just bouncing, ping, 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 and that's why there's so many. Because they'll go ping. It's just it's fascinating to watch. This clip's only got about 20 seconds. We'll just play it at the end.
She's never even essentially been. She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country, and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs, and frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one.
So, Chewy, as I said, you can see how I'm actually cutting him off mid-word sometimes. I literally could have thrown a dart and played any minute clip and it would have been like, oh my gosh. I've got like 3 more to play, but they're like little 60-seconders. I tried to find a few through the way. But your thoughts, anything else about you know, taking that there might be some black journalists in this room? What?
This is what you were seeing here is you were seeing an elderly man with a
Yeah.
failing brain, who has constantly been doing rallies since the run up to his first campaign. And he has constantly been doing rally after rally after rally to his cult and his party faithful, who would do nothing but drag their face through a field of broken glass just to be in a room that he has farted in.
Drag their face.
They love him. It doesn't matter. Like, he's playing the hits. But what he's got is he's playing those hits that work in a fucking rural stadium full of people that just don't read the news.
This is the Eagles.
And now
this is the Eagles turning up to play to a hip hop crew.
Oh,
you know?
Absolutely. Wrong crowd. Read the room. Can't read. And I wonder if he thinks that they're laughing with him. Yeah,
maybe.
You know, I really don't understand how he would take this. And I think this will just get spun into just racism. There's the only way out for him here is that they were nasty to me because they're all DEI hires. And like the question that he saved himself from is, you know, this flood of illegals taking black jobs. What do you mean by black jobs? I mean the menial ones.
Any job.
The field jobs, the landscapers, you know, black jobs. That's what he wants to say. That's what absolutely flies with his base.
I've never looked at his thing on Truth Social. Never ever. I'm looking at it now because I was looking to see if he'd said anything about this conversation. God, it's a nightmare to scroll through. Good Lord. Kamala Harris co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion socialist takeover of the entire U.S. healthcare system. That'll get you some votes. Not him. The other ones, if that was the case.
That would actually get if they understood it. That would have, like we've talked about this before, right? As long as you strip the word socialism off something, and you just tell people what it is, Americans will go, that sounds fucking amazing. Why don't we do that? It's called socialized healthcare. I'm no godless communist. I'm going to die in the street of diabetes at the age of 34.
Here we go.
Rather be dead than red.
This looks like it might be it. Byron Donalds, whoever that is. Today, President Trump entered a hostile environment, highlighted his historic accomplishments, and spoke directly to the issues that matter: securing the border, reducing Biden-Harris inflation, restoring energy independence, fostering tough conversations and debate on how we make America great again for all Americans. Unlike Kamala Harris, President Trump is not afraid of going into any venue, anytime, anywhere, and today was no exception. You know, be careful, Sunshine, because I think the vice president has made it pretty clear she's up for any time, anywhere. And Donald Trump's response was, "Thank you, Byron." So, yeah. Oh, President Trump is Amber Rose. President Trump is absolutely crushing this interview. That's the National Association of Black Journalists. So there you go. Trump got the message out, and Democrats are angry. Great job,
that's
Mr.
hilarious.
Trump. So it's fascinating how
Someone's
thing's
been
going to
huffing the copium.
attempt to be spun. All right, I've got some quick fires for you. I think they're only about 60 seconds each, maybe not even that. Oh, this one's, yeah, about 60 seconds. And they're just some highlights from things he was talking about. This one I've written up as nasty women.
Would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining? Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would make,
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my
me,
goodness.
That oh my goodness was Harris Faulkner. That oh my goodness was from the Fox host. So when the Fox host on stage is basically saying, what the, you got to check yourself.
stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm fine with it because she
Yeah,
was
it's so
very
fine.
rude, sir. Very rude. That was a nasty, that wasn't a question. She
Sir,
didn't
you
ask
can
me a
answer the
question.
question.
She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated
you
your
can answer the
statement, sir,
question.
actually.
You know what it is as well? It's the entitlement. It's the entitlement where he's going, I should be asked in the way that I approve of. And any other way, he thinks he's entitled to be spoken to in a certain way.
You said you would. You would
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If
to
I
step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president to take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test. I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them and I aced them.
Well, can
got
I
'em.
just-
I took 2 of them. But let me ask
I knew what the elephant
I
was.
would like to have people running for president, and I don't mean because they're 75 or 85. I think anybody running, I'd like to do it. People say it's not constitutional. I would like to have something passed where you can do it.
I think most people would probably agree with that, don't you reckon? Cognitive tests. Second little short clip is him basically claiming that Kamala Harris failed all of her exams. She's not very smart. This is what this guy's saying.
I would do it with her also. You know what? She failed her law exam. She didn't pass her law exam, so maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test.
Mr.
Are
President,
you saying she wouldn't pass? Just to be clear,
I'm just giving you the facts.
to be clear, you don't think
I'm
Harris
just
would
How do you
pass?
giving the
intend-
facts.
and-
She
and
didn't
look-
pass her bar exam, and she didn't think she would pass it, and she didn't think she was going to ever pass it. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she passed it. I
She
guess
did pass it.
There's a
She
man
did-
over
she
here.
did
I
in fact
think
pass
he
it.
must work for
Mr.
her.
President, I would love to.
It just goes, he's the victim. The blimmin' goes on and on and on and on. He's always the victim. And the other thing about that is it's very weak. You know, strong people aren't always the victim. He's always the victim. And this last one is actually quite important. It's talking about the people who, the J6s as they call them, the people who attacked the Capitol on January the 6th, because he says he'll pardon them.
What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed
But sir, my
that
question
city?
is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the
question
people
is
that
on
tried
those
to burn
rioters
down-
who assaulted
Excuse me.
officers.
You have to
Would
answer.
you pardon
What's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You
If
would
they're
pardon
innocent,
those-
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a
Did you get that?
large
That was the purple?
percentage
The
of
purple
Seattle,
that-
How come nothing happened to them? How come the
But
people
sir, we're
that-
talking about
how
people
come
that
the
were
people-
seen
no,
beating
We're
officers
talking
with
about federal
flagpoles,
buildings.
dragging them down the stairs. They're on
They
video.
try-
Have you seen that
Really?
video,
Oh,
sir?
really? Well, they
you would
shot-
pardon those. You would pardon those rioters?
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know, nobody died that day. You do
Just
know
gotta
that.
break
But
into
people
the,
died in
chamber.
Seattle.
I don't
Sure.
understand why he just says that they shot her in the face and nobody died that day. What the hell's that all about?
Nobody died, but people died in
140
Minneapolis.
officers
You know,
were
people died in
assaulted that
Minneapolis.
day.
And nothing happens, and nobody ever talks, and nothing happens to those people. But you went after the J6 people with a vengeance. And I'll tell you what about the
'Cause it
cops that
was a
were, and I'm
coup.
all for the police, as you know, but what about the police that are ushering everybody into the Capitol? Go in, go in, go in. What about that?
So it goes on and on and on and on and on. As you see, I've had to cut out super quick from some of these things. And if you're interested in installing some brainworms of your own, you can go watch the whole thing on YouTube. This is the thing that we do for you. We diminish our IQ by watching that kind of thing, so you guys don't have to. So yeah, I mean, what can you say? It was an absolute nightmare. It was the worst of the worst. I mean, there was interesting tweets and stuff going around today where people were saying, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the ABC journalist, but a picture of her saying, did she just end his presidency? And the thing is, no, she didn't just end his presidency. But what's interesting is that Donald Trump has maxed out his appeal. He is not getting any more support. Prior to the convention and after the debate, he had about a 1.5 percentage lead on average over Joe Biden. Since then, you've had the convention, you've had Joe Biden drop out, you've had the assassination attempt, and as of the latest kind of group of polls, he has a 1.7% average advantage over Kamala Harris. So, I mean, assassination attempt. I mean, you just think about our prime ministers. If you've got the Christchurch earthquake and COVID, they went through the roof with favorability and likability. He just about gets shot to death, and he cracks 40% in favorability, and he's seen nothing in the poll. So he can't go up any further, but he could go down. But remember, most of these American elections are decided by less than 100,000 votes over several 5, 6, 7, 8 counties within states. So it's not even over several states, it's over several counties within those states. And that's why him at 47 point whatever percent and Kamala Harris at 46, it's all on. As bad as he is, it'll come down to 100,000 votes in 7 counties. Chewy.
Yeah, like it's such a small number. But imagine that the people that this reinvigoration of the debate is not just 2 old dudes. There's a much starker choice here.
Yeah,
that could motivate 100,000 people to turn out. But I mean, we look at it with eyes based on our system here. Again, the US system is hopelessly corrupt. It's so weird that you can't just look at it in those terms. I will be happy to say that this has lit a fire under a whole bunch of people, and the hits just keep coming.
Yeah.
I did laugh. I just saw a comment come across. It's a quote from I think it's Truth Social, maybe. Donald Trump going, crazy Kamala is saying she's Indian, not black. This is a big deal. Stone cold phony. She uses everybody, including her racial identity. And a reply from the Harris War Room. So, the Kamala Harris fan page, I guess. Donald, Kamala Harris is both black and Indian. You can be 2 things at once. Kind of like how you are both a rapist and a racist. Yeah, big hit.